So hello everyone. Today we'll be going to solve a easy level DP question. This is a question from ATCODER Educational DP contest. You can look up for this problem. I'll try to explain this question in brief, and then we'll move on to the solution without wasting any time. Right. So basically, the question says that there are n stones numbered from 1 to n, and we can move from stone of one stone to the next stone, or to the just two stones ahead of that, right? So basically you can jump from stone I to stone of I plus 1, or you can jump to stone I plus 2. So now if you jump to stone of I, from stone I to stone of I plus 1, you have to pay the cost of difference between their heights. This is basically what it's written here. If you are jumping from stone I to stone J, the difference between the heights, the absolute value difference between the heights will be the cost incurred. So yeah, this is what the question says. So let's try to explain this question in a much better way with the help of the sample input given to us. So yeah, so let's analyze the sample input. So basically, in this question, in this input, you have given four stones, and the height of the four stones are given as such. So you can see that you can jump from stone this to stone this with a cost of 10 to we can jump from stone 10 to stone 30 with the cost of 20, and then from 30 we can directly jump to 20, because since we are allowed to jump two stones ahead, then we can simply jump from 30 directly to 20, and which will cost us 10 more, so it totals up to 10 plus 20 plus 10, that is 30. This is what the output is. So yeah, now before moving on to solution, we have to first see how do we approach a DP problem. So we have to first approach a DP problem by defining the states. So what could be the states here? So let's start by defining our state, right? So let's DPI be a state which will tell us that what minimum cost we can achieve, till index I, or we can say till stone I. So like this is basically breaking the sub problem into our sub problems. Like DP0 will tell us what is the minimum cost we can achieve if we are stone at stone 1. DP2 will tell us what minimum cost we can achieve if we are at stone 2. Similarly for DP3, and similarly for DP4. And yeah, then now it's obvious that DP4 will be our answer, because that's what we want to solve, right? We have to solve for the entire problem, not for the sub problem. I just shown you that how do we reach this the complete state. So now we have defined the DP state. Now next step is to define the transitions. How do we make transitions from one state to another state? So this is the second most important step in every DP problem. Now for this transitions, we have to first analyze the question. What the question says? Question says that if we are at stone I, we can either move to stone I plus 1, or we can move to stone I plus 2. So we have only these two possible transitions. Let's try to redefine these transitions now. Suppose we are stone I, right? Suppose we are stone I. We must have reached this stone I either from stone I minus 1 or stone I minus 2. This is basically what is written here. We have just redefined this problem, because if we had stone I plus 2, you can jump from stone of I plus 2 to stone I, and if you are stone of I minus 1, you can jump to stone I. So this is basically redefining things, right? We are going to get this from stone I to either from stone of I minus 1, or you can reach from stone of I minus 2. This is basically the same thing which we are written here. So now uh, so basically dpi will be dpi minus 1. It specifies that we are coming from the stone just behind us. Now since we are coming from stone of just behind us, that is stone I minus 1, we also need to consider the cost only of that particular stone. So we have to consider cost I minus cost I minus 1. So this is basically the first transition which we have made. Since we are coming from stone of I minus 1, we'll take that cost and our current stone cost, and we have to subtract that. This is basically it's given in the question, right? You can, if you look at the question, there is given that cost moving from stone I to stone J is the absolute difference between both of them. So this will be basically the absolute difference, right? The absolute difference between these two. Now what will be the another transition? There could be another transition from stone of I plus I minus 2, because we are given that we can do either this or this. So if we do this, then we have to add the cost of the current stone minus the cost of the I minus 2 stone, right? So both the transitions are made. Now what? Yes, we have to take the minimum of both the transitions. Okay, so this is this one liner will solve the entire question. Yes, you just need to loop through I equals to 2 to n, and then this whole problem, all subproblems will be calculated. dp2, dp3, dp4 up till dpn will be calculated, and at last you just need to output dpn minus 1, which will be the final answer. So before moving on to the coding part, I would like to talk about the base cases here. So what will be our base cases? So base cases will be dp0, that is cost of 0, because if you we are at only stone 0 and we have only that particular stone available to us, then we can only move to that stone, right? We have no other options simply. Now another base case would be dp1, because it specifies that we have only two stones, that we can only come from stone 0, right? We can't come from stone minus 1, because that doesn't even exist. So you have only one option to reach stone 1, that is stone from stone 0. That will be simply cost 1 minus cost 0. And yeah, that's it. This should solve our problem. So let's try to code this down and see if it actually works. Okay, so in input we are given n, and height of all the n stones. So let's input n, and let's take the cost array. uh, let's take the cost array. Okay, so we have taken the input. Now let's also take the dp array. This will be our base cases, and this will be our transitions. Then we have to simply see out dpn minus 1. Yeah, looks fine. So let's try on the sample. Okay, so it's taking time. Let's switch to our id, because it's taking time, right? Okay, so let's save this dp.cpp. And we are having a compilation error. Here we are missing a bracket. Okay, so let's run it again. So you can see we are getting 30 here. Let's try to test for another sample. One thing I forgot here, that you need to take the absolute value here also. Okay, so now it's fine. Okay, so there's some mistake, I guess. Let's try to find it out. Okay, so we have this cost 0, and then we have this cost, this base cases. Okay, so this should work fine, right? So we have a mistake here. Let's try to test it again. Okay, so we are getting 30, so the code is working fine. You can try to code this on your own, and you can actually try to submit it, and you can come up with your own solution. This is one approach. There might be some other approach also, so you can try to explore that as well. So thanks for watching.